Hello everyone and welcome to episode 12 of Creator Club with Reesy FC. If you watched the last episode, you would have seen we had the most intense playoff match. 4-4 it finished after extra time, and then we lost 5-4 on penalties. We went out in a really harsh manner really, but we remain optimistic for the next season. However, our form does need to change drastically, because if you look at them last few games, playoff defeat aside, we really did lose form there. 3 defeats out of 4 games after a really, really good run. But it's not the end of the world. We're not going to take much momentum going into the next season, but we really need to nail this summer transfer window with, of course, our very little funds. Because if we want to push for promotion next season, we need to be a bit more consistent. I know you're going to look at that schedule there and say, well, you was consistent between the end of December and the beginning of April, but there was a lot of football either side of that where we was pretty poor. So we need to find that level of consistency over the whole season, and to do that, we need a few summer recruits. So like at the end of any season, there are end of season awards. As you can see there, Fans Player of the Season was no surprise. It was Byron Lawrence, who was with us for the full duration of the season. He picks up 53% of the votes. Lucas Tomlinson in second, who joined us late on in the season, was in second. Them two had a massive impact on our season. Goal of the season was Byron Lawrence. Let's remind ourselves of that strike, because I can't remember either. It was a ball out by Billy Roast into the path of Sade. Lawrence in acres of space, lovely touch, and he blasted that home into the bottom corner. To be honest, I think he scored better goals than that. He did score a good few absolute crackers this season. Signing of the season was Reese Stray on a free. He was the youngster. He played more in the shadow striker, advanced playmaker role, just behind Akinyemi when he did play. And young player of the season, again, picking up his third reward, was Byron Lawrence. The end of season review here. We'd been expected to finish in the top half of the table, and would have been delighted to find themselves finishing in the playoff places. We wasn't expected to finish there. What a load of rubbish that is. That is a load of nonsense, because we was expected to be in a relegation battle. We lost in the fourth qualifying round against Bromley of the FA Cup. Lost in the first round of the FA Trophy, which we didn't really care about that competition really. And we finished 7th in the Vanarama National League South. So, terrific season. Match of the season was the 4-2 victory over Dulwich Hamlet in February. And the moment to forget was Chippenham Town 3, Reesy FC 0. Club's visions and expectations then for the next season. So the club culture is to strive to make progress on and off the pitch, just like anyone really. Work within the wage budget, that's normal. End of the next season, they want to finish in the top half of the National League South. That should be doable based on this season. And then my contract expires at the end of the season. Hopefully we'll get a new deal. Otherwise that'll be end of series. At the end of the next season, they want us to reach the playoffs, just like we did this year. And then for the following 3 seasons of this 5-year plan, they want us just to keep challenging for the playoffs. I think that's fair enough. I'd like to do that sooner. I'd hope we'd be out of the division within 2 years' time. Hopefully this time next season we'll be looking at survival in the National League. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accept this current vision. I'm very happy with that. And now we come to the end of season team meeting. Let's discuss the plans for next season. Better not say we're good enough to go up as champions next year. I'm not going to put too much pressure on the lads. I'm going to say the season is now finished, and it's time to focus on what we can achieve going forward, and I think we can finish in the top half next year. So, if I passionately say that to them, they all agree that that is a realistic goal. I'm happy with that, so anything else is a bonus. So I'm going to passionately say that that's exactly the sort of reaction I'm after. As said, it's going to be a very busy summer for the club, and looking at this list, about 10 players all the way down to here, their contracts are expiring. We really need to deal with that. Obviously, it's hard at this level to commit players to long-term contracts because of the wages isn't great. Some players are on like 50 quid a week, which they're not going to want to sign a three-year contract of £50 a week. Basically, all of the loan players there, you can see Byron Lawrence, Johnson, Sade, Tomlinson, Osborne. These are all players we obviously want to keep at the club. They've done really well for us last season, and it would be nice to sign them. All of their contracts expire with their parent clubs, so we have added them as a transfer target, declared interest in them for end of contract. Chances are I don't think any of them will join, because they're obviously at League 1 clubs or League 2 clubs at the moment. So they'll be looking for a bigger move, but that might make it difficult to bring them back next season, because if Johnson goes to Oxford or someone and they offer him a chance to be on the bench or actually play for them in League 1 or League 2, I'm sure he would rather be there than come on loan to us. And of course, the clubs will, if they're signing them, they'll probably want to keep them to use them in their first team squad. So it's going to be a real testing summer. This is probably my most testing playing Football Manager, and it'll be interesting to see what we can actually do with this side and who we can bring back, and or any replacements really to replace these players, especially Lawrence and Tomlinson, because they were sensational for us. We need to find similar players or players better than them really, so then we can make a promotion push hopefully. And whilst we're on the subject of contracts, Reesy FC decided to offer me a new contract and tie me down to the club, which is wonderful news. All the same club visions in the 5-year plan, offering me £775 per week with a transfer budget of £45,000, $6,500 per week on the wage budget. And of course I'm going to accept this because we don't want to go anywhere else, and I am pretty happy with that. The thing is, it doesn't actually say how long for, so whether it's just what an idiot I am. They're offering me a one year contract. It's right at the top of the screen. But 1 year contract, £775 per week. We'll take this. We have to really, otherwise the series is over. We fast track through pre-season now for you, so you don't have to sit there and watch the 5 pre-season games. We have had a terrific transfer window. We've signed 6 players. Lucas Defise from Southampton on a free transfer, Estrada from Wolves on a free transfer. That's 2 midfielders there. Cameron Stanley on a free transfer. He was originally at Everton, got released and went to Bromley, and we've picked him up as a free agent, so that's more cover in the centre-forward role. He's only about 18, I think. 19 years old, so a good young prospect there. Byron Lawrence has come in for free. Obviously, you'll remember him from last year. Cameron Green as well, we had on loan for the first half of last season. He's coming on a free transfer. And Billy Johnson, who was our number 1 goalkeeper last year, he's also coming on a free transfer. So what a window. We managed to get Lawrence and Green in, and Johnson, the top performers last year really for us. Stanley should give us good cover in the centre forward positions, and 2 high quality midfielders coming in as well. And if you look at our squad depth now, I mean, look at that, the forward roles pretty good. Stanley gives us another good option there, as I just mentioned. We've also brought in Tomlinson as well. He has come in on loan again from last season. The left midfield role is pretty much covered there, as we've got Cole and Harvey as well that can fill in if needed. Look at the attacking midfield and, well, the centre midfield options. So much strength in depth there. And right midfield, of course, because we've also brought in Osborne. Centre backs as well, we're absolutely solid there. Very happy. We are trying to do a deal to bring in another right back on loan, which unfortunately hasn't gone through before the start of the season. And again, the goalkeeping area, we seem solid. So we have really strengthened this side this summer. And just to show you as well, here is our pre-season form. We've won all 5 games. Couple of tough games in there with Colchester United at home. League 1 opposition. We managed to win the game 1-0. Dipo Akinyemi picking up another goal. And Stoke under-23s, we played really well. Absolutely dominated. I know it is the under-23s, but they're still a top quality side compared to us. So that's a really good result for us there. We start off the season with a home game against St Albans City, and then we're away at Hampton and Richmond, which you'll see both games in this episode. Here's the team then we selected for the St Albans City game. Billy Johnson in goal, Green, Matsuzaka, Patterson, Okran, Estrada and Lawrence, Cole, Defies, Osborne and Akinyemi up top. Unfortunately, Tomlinson is out injured, and we don't actually know how long he's out for. Didn't actually give me a report, but he's out between 12 days and 4 weeks, and that's a big loss for us at the start of the season because we know how vital he was last year. I completely forgot as well, there's only 5 substitutes in this division. This time round, I always normally have a goalkeeper on the bench, even though you tend not to use him. In fact, I don't think I have ever, in Football Manager 20, have actually subbed the goalkeeper at any point for injuries or sending off. So I'm risking it here going for 5 outfield players, but in a way it's not a risk because it never happens. But watch it happen in one of these first 2 games. Johnson will get injured or something. But this is the team we selected. Solid side. There's newbies in there. Our midfield should be pretty good, I think. I'll be pretty disappointed if we don't challenge for promotion this year because I think we've had a real solid summer. Just tell them I expect nothing from a win this match because that's true. And I'm telling them I expect to see a performance which they don't seem to be responding to very well. But I'm not too bothered. And we're underway for the first game of our second season with Reesy FC in the Vanarama National League South. It'd be nice just to come get a nice 2-0 win or something here, not concede a goal, get a couple of goals and get off to a nice solid start. And the trend sets, of course, no highlights in the first 15 games, So it's a rubbish game by the sounds of it. I think last year in our first game we drew 4-4 at home to Dartford, I want to say. So that was a right end-to-end and entertaining game, that was. Not a lot happening here though, unfortunately. But no, as I say, I'm very, very pleased with the solid summer signings, and once we get that right back in, I think we'll be done for the summer. We've actually managed to stay within our wage budget. We're still trying to ship a couple of players out because we don't need as many players as we got there. Kirk Fitzpatrick is one of them we're trying to get rid of, and I can't remember off the top of my head the other one, but hopefully both will go, and then we'll free up some more funds as well to maybe bring in somebody else. But I don't think we quite need it at the minute, but we could save it for January, that's for sure. And we got right at the end of the half, balls whipped in, and I thought something was going to happen there. I thought we was going to get a penalty, but obviously not. The attack's still going on. Here's Osborne, lovely ball in, cleared away again, and now St Albans City on a counter-attack. He's played a lovely ball through, and great save from Billy Johnson. Should have done better there. The St Albans striker didn't get a great glimpse of his name there. Half-time though, 0-0. We're absolutely dominating. How's they got no shots? We just saw a shot. Ridiculous. We've got a lot of possession. We need to tell them we've been the better team here. Happy with all the percentages for the condition and sharpness. And we're out for the second half. I'll be disappointed not to win this game by the fact we've absolutely dominated them the first half. Still don't know why their shot wasn't showing. They've obviously just had a shot, as I said that. Byron Lawrence running things there. Look, 7.2 rating, 7.3 rating now. What a signing it was. I did not expect to get them on a free. Lawrence, Johnson, and especially Cameron Green, actually, because he went back to Watford halfway through the season last year, and Tuttle come in, played really well. So at least we know we've got a good backup. And Adeyinka Cole gets his first goal of the season. Assist by Brendan Okran at right back, who we're probably going to replace soon. So he's staking a claim to be the number one right back. Lovely ball across, and Cole knocks it into the top corner. I think if you remember last season, he had a fantastic pre-season, and then he just didn't do anything for about 6 months in the season. Well, he started off well this year, thankfully. And we're going to tell the boys, show a bit of passion, and I think we should decide to make a couple of changes here, being the first game of the season. And look what's happened again. All of the column widths have gone. What's going on here? There we go, that's better, isn't it? So maybe... Still can't see my things. Cameron Green's going to come off. We're going to give Tuttle a run out. And I'm going to bring Chiodozo on. He scored a couple of goals, I think, in pre-season. He needs to hit the ground running. He's still apparently our best, according to the squad depth chart and our coaches, he's still the best centre-forward at the club. Didn't show that last year. He played quite well in a shadow striker role, though, behind Akinyemi. Here's Okran again. Lovely ball again. Akinyemi back to Okran. Osborne. Akinyemi strikes, defies, and it's cleared away. We're creating a lot of chances here. 18 chances, 9 on target. No clear-cut chances, though, which is a bit odd out of all them chances. 70-minute mark we're coming up to now. It's still Reesy FC 1, St Albans 0. It's really weird, like, just looking at the table now and the results, because you really don't know what to expect. Keep looking down at them thinking, oh, what's going on? But yeah, there are any surprises, but you just really don't know. Bit different in the Premier League when you can see, like, Watford beating Man United at Old Trafford 4-0 or something. You'd be like, oh, that's a big shock. But in this league, I have no idea until about 30 games in. Here comes St Albans City now, attacking down the left. Long ball forward. Here's Shufflin. What's going on? Oh, my word. I thought they'd equalise there. Hit the bar, underside of the bar, bounced on the line, and then our keeper somehow gathered it. And we are still hanging in there. 5 minutes left. And just to waste a bit of time, we're going to take Cole off. Hopefully the match winner, if we can hold on here. I'd have liked a couple of goals, but we'll take a 1-0 win start. If we can hold on in these final 2 minutes, that is. Oh, I spoke far too soon, didn't I? Look at that. Oh, and if only if they could finish, we could have been in a bit of trouble in this game for not killing it off. And it's full time. We've won our first match of the season. Fantastic performance. And I think we got to praise them. Going to ignore the new assistant manager, Gary Warren. That's new news as well because of the former assistant manager left. We have now got Gary Watton as in the assistant manager role, and let's hope he can do a good job for us because I think he was a centre back. The other one, I can't remember his name now, Steve something. But anyway, he wasn't very good for us, was he? We had to get rid of him. He's only a 2-star rating. He was no good for us, so we decided to not renew his contract. But albeit we had to get a new assistant manager in there. This is the side that we picked to play Hampton and Richmond. Johnson, Green, Matsuzaka, Patterson, Arkra, Estrada, Lawrence. Harvey comes in for Osborne, who's struggling with a bit of match fitness. Device, Cole and Akinyemi up top. Cole switched to the right wing where predominantly he was better for us last season rather on the left. And that was a bit of news I didn't bring you in the transfer news earlier on in the episode. For some reason it didn't show up Osborne and Tomlinson, so we've also brought back Osborne, who was at the club last year on another season-long loan. I think he was there from January last year, but albeit that's another player that we've used to strengthen the squad this season. Let's tell them, go and give the fans their money's worth, all 8 of them that would have travelled tonight. Tell them that have faith in them, and hopefully pick up another 3 points, albeit on the road this time. Hampton and Richmond won their last game as well, and they would have won away, so they will be looking for all 3 points here in their first home game of the season. Yes, I'm not sure why the transfer history wasn't showing loans. I thought it did, but it seemed to miss out a couple there. 10 minutes gone, no highlights still. We've got a lot of possession again, so this tiki-taka, we are really knocking the ball around really well. I'll take a point here, to be honest. It'd be a good point coming away from home the first game of the season. It'd be nice to keep another clean sheet. Have 2 clean sheets on the spin. There's still no news on our right back between them 2 games. And I've, again, stupidly forgotten what his name was, but I haven't heard of him, and you probably wouldn't have heard of me either, so it's probably a bit irrelevant if I'd have remembered his name. That's the joy of being in non-league. And at the minute, it's another half out. There's not even a shot yet in this game. Every time I seem to show you a game, there doesn't seem to be anything happening. Matsuzaka's picked up a yellow card. There's something to commentate on. I wonder if we'll actually get to half-time without a shot. And no, we won't, because we've had a shot, albeit off target. At least one highlight this half, please. There we go. Lawrence with a free kick. Whips the ball in, and there's a header, and I think it hit the bar. It did. I don't know who got his head on the ball there, but we nearly took a lead right on the brink of half-time. That would have been a lovely time to score. And let's tell the boys to go and win the game. That will do, won't it? Hopefully for a better second half here, and we're immediately on the attack of a corner. Lawrence whips the ball in, and it's blocked. Another block again. Patterson has a strike and another block. Defending really well, Hampton and Richmond. Had 7 chances now all of a sudden. 72% possession. We really are. We've had a good year now with the tiki-taka, and we really are playing well with the system. We got the perfect squad, the perfect midfield at least, to play that way as well. We must have one of the strongest midfields in the division, surely. I'd be really disappointed if we don't get at least the playoffs this year. And to not even spend a penny as well, to all 3 transfers. We've got to be really pleased with that window. I was so shocked to get some of them players back, and we are going to bring on Osborne. He was struggling for fitness to start the game, but we're going to bring him on now. He will seem fresh to everybody else. And I'm also going to bring off Akinyemi and give Chiadoze a go. I didn't actually renew Chiadoze's contract. He's on a rolling monthly contract because he wasn't good enough for us last year. And I didn't realise in this division, if you don't renew their contract, they just go on a rolling monthly contract. So it suits us really. If he's rubbish in 2 months and someone snaps him up, happy days. Boys need to get a grip of this game now. Haven't Waterlooville, I was reading the league. I mean, Hampton and Richmond are starting to get back into it in terms of shots. Let's go a bit more attacking. Look at me going for it. Getting a bit overconfident with this Reesy FC side. And it looks like we're going to get a 0-0 draw out of this game. And to be honest, I'm happy with that. We probably should have won the game when we was all over them at the beginning of that second half. But let's tell them they were unlucky. Albeit, it's an unbeaten start. It's 4 points from our first 2 games, and we haven't conceded a goal yet. If we take a look at the schedule here, look how many games are in August. There's 7 games, and then another 7 games in September. That's madness. 14 games in the first 2 months. Ridiculous, really. But let's have a look here. 4 points from the first 2 games. Really good return with that. Very, very happy. What we'll try and do is fast track this season a little bit. So I will probably play, what's a couple of good games? I might skip out October and September and play them offline and bring you back for Billericay at home and Hungerford Town at home. 2 home game double header there. Or should I wait a little bit and bring you back for Dartford? No, we'll bring you back at the 10th of October for the Billericay game. We'll have a good idea of how the season's going and where we can be aiming for, what's a realistic target. Although at that stage we were still useless last year and the playoffs wasn't a realistic target. So again, that could be quite irrelevant. But yeah, we'll play them next, what's that, about 10 games? 10 games or so, 11 games, and bring you back for Billericay. Hopefully we are in the top 7 or even better, we're at the top of the table. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe for daily Football Manager content. See you next time on Reesy FC.